Good morning. I think we are live somewhere here inside the hub. I think we're live. We should be live. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully some people can see me. I'm just gonna minimize this. I think we're good to go. It says I'm live, so I'm hoping that somebody can see me. Hopefully we'll be live any second now with some people coming on to say hello. Morning. Yay! Sarah's on. Morning, Sarah. I'm not talking to myself. Hooray! That's always good. I'm just trying to find somewhere good to position the camera. But it's not about that. So this morning, hopefully you had the opportunity over the weekend to catch up with the live that we did on Friday, which was all about mastering your energy and learning to live your life really in the new paradigm. And today we are going to be taking a look at another part of your life, another key part of your life. Now, within EAM, those of you who've been around or seen some of the different hundreds of ways that you can use EAM to truly change your life. What we were really focusing on Friday was a part of the journey, and there's a big 10-month journey that I take people on called the Energy Evolution. Friday's call was taking a tiny, weeny peek at the part of the journey we call your soul. And today, what I want to do is take a little look at the part of your journey that we call your life, because there is so much more to us. On Friday, we were talking about the energy of who we are and how we're made up and how you can start living your life in a new way. And today I want to talk to you about how to really interact in the world, how to really connect with other people, and how to manage living with other people, because let's face it, might not always be easy. So for those of you who haven't seen, there's an amazing book for sale on Amazon that you might want to go and buy if you haven't got it already. But coming up in January, on the 18th, 19th and 20th of January, we are running an epic 3-day event called the Ultimate Self-Help Live, where we're going to be bringing all of the amazing new stuff that's in here to life. And in here really is an epic journey for you to go on if you want to really learn how to use EAM and how to truly change your life, as is the Ultimate Self-Help book. And you'll see here, it's pretty big. There's 400 pages. And just in comparison to my head, I don't have a pea-sized head. It is a very, very, very big book. So if you haven't got this yet, please feel free to go to Amazon and have a take a little look. But if you want to find out more about the event we've got coming up, it's ultimateselfhelplive.com. And even if you can't join us in person, you can come along and join us from live stream all the way from home. Even if you want to just sit there in your slippers and your gym pajamas. However, what I wanted to show you really quickly, find all of my little post-its. Here we are. This is what I was just talking about. So Friday on our call, I've got to try and do this back to front. On our call on Friday, we took a tiny little peek at this piece here, the your soul element. Today, we're going to have a tiny little look at what we're talking about here, which is the your life piece. And when I was saying earlier, when I'm talking about your life, what I'm really talking about is all of the different elements of your life that make up the experience you have outside of what we experience in ourselves. So the your soul piece is really about your perception of the world. Nobody else experiences what you feel energetically. Nobody else experiences what you think. Nobody else experiences your emotions. Nobody else experiences your physical health. So the your soul piece is made up of all of the parts that make you you. Today, what we're talking about is the your life piece. And the your life piece is all about the part that makes you interact with the world, the environment you have around you, the people you have around you, the way that you live your life, the things that you do, the way that you spend your time. Now, the big focus for our call today is really actually around the relationships. Because I know for so many people, in fact, nearly everybody I speak to, one of the biggest challenges that we tend to have in our lives isn't necessarily that we can't get ourselves into flow, although that might be a challenge sometimes. It's actually learning to deal with the other people in our life experience, because not everyone's been necessarily on the same journey as you. Not everybody in your life might be into personal development or learning how to change their life or figuring out how to do things better for themselves. And it can become a real challenge learning to interact with people who either don't get this or are living their life in an old paradigm way. Now, for those of you who missed our call, the video that we did on Friday, old paradigm and new paradigm. Old paradigm is basically living life based in fear, lack, mistrust, blame, shame, guilt, overwhelm. It's about projecting your energy onto others. It's about not being fully responsible for your life experience. Many of us have been brought up in an old paradigm way of thinking and living. Everything that we talk about within EAM, everything within the book, everything in the 10-month journey, everything at the events that we do is all about living your life in a new paradigm way. It's all about stepping into the new paradigm and learning to live your life from a place of love, of flow, of freedom, of abundance, of being fully responsible for you, your energy, your words, your thoughts, your actions, and knowing that you are the only person in your life that has the power to shift and change your experience, whether you're shifting and changing it from something bad to something good, or whether you're shifting it from something good to something bad. We are the only person that can change our experience of what we see and perceive in our world. And that's what I want to kind of touch on briefly in our call today and on this video. So for those of you who haven't seen this before, the flip chart is coming out. Actually, no, the flip chart is not coming out. I'm going to show you the picture in here in a bit. Hold on 1 second. So what I want to talk to you about is, some of you will have seen me talk about this before, is one of the biggest parts of the work that we do within EAM is we talk about this. Some of you might have seen this here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm doing this all backwards. There we go. The triangle on the bottom, where we talk about the pusher, the protector, and the puller. And here in the middle, you'll see that when we're really in flow, it's about our energy coming from being in our power. So I am going to draw it out on the flip chart because it's just a little bit easier. Let me just bring in my glamorous assistant for you. Hold on. So these three energy dynamics, some of you will have heard me talk about this before, but it is so important to understand. This is actually based on a theory known as the Karpman drama triangle from transactional analysis. And basically, everything in our life experience, all of our interactions, our communications, tend to be, when we're living in the old paradigm, will always come from one of these three energy positions. Always, always, always. Now, within EAM, we call them the energy drama triangle, because it's actually, for me, it's about an energetic perspective. It's not about, it's not just about communication. There is an energy that's happening underneath that. And that's why we call them the pusher, protector, and the puller, because that is what their energy is doing. That's what their energy is sending out or projecting out in any of these interactions. So let me describe for you these three people, because we have all been all of them at some point in our life, and we are all of them all the time, unless or until we choose to shift our energy and our focus to the new paradigm way of living. And I'll tell you what the way to do that is. So let me just describe the pusher for you. So this is the pusher. The pusher energy is somebody who is kind of does what it says on the tin. They are pushing their energy onto you. They are the people who are vicious. They're the people who tend to be a little bit poisonous with the words. They're spiteful. They'll threaten you. They will try and use fear and shame and blame and guilt. All of those things that they are pushing and projecting their stuff onto you. They're the people that will be in your face like, you've done this, you've said that. We've all had that at some point, or we've all been that person at some point. Now, these are the people that will try to manipulate a situation from a very push energy kind of place. They will lie, they will cheat, they will make up stories, they'll do anything to allow themselves to stay in this place of being righteous and victorious in the way that they act, or that they are somehow the ones that are in the right, and you're the one, it's you're the one that's got to change. It's nothing to do with them, they're not at fault, it's you did this, you said that. Anyone recognize this? Can someone give me a comment underneath if they recognize this? So the pusher energy is like this, pushing their energy on you. Now then we have the protector energy. Now actually I'll explain the puller next. So the puller energy, in order for there to be a pusher, there has to be somebody that is having their energy pushed at. So the puller energy, the reason that we call them the puller is actually because they tend to pull energy from here, but somehow they seem to be the ones that are on the receiving end of the pusher. They're the ones who are almost holding back the wave of energy from the pusher, but they are also the people who are the most childlike in the situation, meaning they're the ones who are like, I have no power to shift and change this. I can't do this. This person said this about me. They did this, they did that. They said these things, they've done these things, they've talked about me, they've done these things. It's always like the poor me, basically. It wasn't my fault. This is almost like this. It wasn't my fault. I had nothing to do with it. I am powerless to shift or change this situation. It's all about them or them or them or them. Somebody else did this to me and I can do nothing about it. That's kind of the general energy of the puller. Now, the pullers tend to also have somebody around them that we call the protector. Now, the protector energy tends to be those people who like to step in and intervene in a situation. They'll tend to be stepping in somewhere between this pusher and this puller energy, and they'll be the ones that are like, it's okay, I'll save the day. I tend to always describe them as kind of riding in on their big white horse, like, don't worry, I'll do it, it's all fine, I'll sort it all out for you. And they'll be the ones that are trying to help this puller. It all comes from a place of love-ish, but they're the ones that are trying to step in and help this puller, sort things out, or step in the way and stop them from getting attacked by this person, or helping that person even when they may not have asked for that help. Anybody recognize themselves in that? Anyone ever been this person? I know I have. This is the one who's always kind of the righteous one in the, that's not fair, that's not right. And they're always trying to sort the situation out. But what tends to go on with this is these people will do something for somebody. And then if this person isn't grateful, it's kind of like, for those of you who have seen Catherine Tate's sketch, the old grandma who's like, what a, insert swear word, liberty. Like, these are the people who'll be like, I did this for them, I did that for them, I did this for them, and they didn't appreciate it. Oh my God, I did this and this and this, and they never said thank you. Can you give me a thumbs up or heart if that's ever been you at some point? Has it? I know I've done it. I did all of this for this person, and this is how they repay me. This is what they've done. We've all done it. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because we have all been all of these, and we are all of these at some point, unless or until we choose to step into the new paradigm. All of these are old paradigm ways of living. Every single one. You cannot be in one of these three energy positions and be in flow and be living in the new paradigm. All of them are out of flow ways of being. However, the way to live in the new paradigm with all of this is to come from your place of power. Now, this is not always easy, especially if you are somewhere stuck in the middle of this drama, because it's so easy for us to step into any one of these three And you will naturally go into one of these three places because we've been conditioned to respond. Everything we see in our world is shaped around this. Every soap that you watch on TV, every film that you watch on TV, every documentary, every news article, everything in our world is shaped in one of these three ways. Very rarely do people talk about coming from their place of power. Now, when I use the word power, I don't mean overbearing on somebody. I mean coming from that inner place of strength, where you come from a place of flow, where you come from the new paradigm, where you come from a place of love, where you come from a place of righteousness in knowing that it's right for you and not allowing yourself to be influenced or swayed or pushed or cajoled or dragged into some drama that is somebody else's stuff and absolutely nothing to do with you. When I talk about coming from your place of power, it's about you learning to and owning it and managing your own energy so that the response you give is from that place of responding, not reacting to a situation. So how do you do that? Now, obviously, the answer to that is the 5 steps of EAM. It's all about learning to recognize these 3. I mean, there is so much more to these 3 energy positions that I've talked about here, but it's about learning to come from that place of power. And it isn't something that you can just do overnight, because what we first have to do is to recognize what these patterns are and let those patterns go from our energy so that they're no longer part of who we are and don't become our automated responses when we are in a situation. So part 1 is actually letting go of all of those patterns and all of the times that we've done those things in the past, because they are still somewhere carried in our energy, in our aura. So once you've worked on letting go of those, then it's kind of like a big energy spring clean. Then when you're in a situation, it's about recognizing which one of these 3 positions you are in, or which one of those positions you are likely to react from and to communicate from. It's almost that instant response where you're like, ah, and you might want to reply with the, and that was the swear word texting, by the way. You might want to just react to something rather than actually responding. So the way to start, and again, this is much bigger than I can possibly share on the call today, but the way to start doing this is recognize which of those 3 energy positions are coming at you. Recognize how you are reacting. What does this situation do to your energy? What thoughts and beliefs do you have coming up around what they've said or what they've done? Are you going, oh, I did this for that person, and I did that for that person, and I did this for this person, and this is how they are repaying me? What emotions have you got coming up? Now, if you're here on this video, hopefully you already know something about EAM, or you're inside the 5 Days to Flow group. But if not, there are different ways that you can use the 5 steps of EAM to approach all of those things. What happens to your energy? So pay attention to what's going on inside. What does it make you feel sick? Does it make you feel overwhelmed? Does it make you feel like you're being pushed down or held back? Does it make you feel drained? What thoughts and beliefs do you have coming up around it? Write down everything that you've got that's going through your mind, and you can work through each of those beliefs individually with the 5 steps of EAM. Then, if any of you are familiar with this, the emotional scale, which hopefully, she says, I'm going to try and find this super quickly. The emotional scale, which we use within EAM, and we use this a lot, is to find out which emotions you have. And this is the moment that I can't find it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yes, I can. This is the emotional scale that we use within EAM. And you can use the sway to find out which of those emotions you're carrying about this situation or about the people that are involved in it as well. So there are 3 different ways you can start to approach this. Like I said, there is much more to this, but these are 3 different ways that you can begin to change the energy dynamics that you have going on in these relationships. Now, especially around this time of year, at Christmas time, this might be kind of poignant for some people if you are going to be connecting with friends and family members who might be living in the old paradigm, and there might be some old family dramas coming up over the Christmas period, or maybe you're not looking forward to seeing your family because you know that they are one of the people that live in one of these places quite frequently. Please give me a smiley face or a heart or something if everybody recognizes those. So the work for you to do is to pre-pave that. Make sure that you've done the work on yourself about how you're feeling about those people that you know are likely to come, who might come from one of those places, so that you're not putting any more energy into that situation and co-creating more of that stuff with them over the Christmas period. So if you know that you've got people in your family or friends around you who might happen to live in this place, then I really recommend that you do the work on this before you see them, so that you can come from a place of love and so that you can actually create a nice time when you're going to be with those people, so that it doesn't become the experience that you are expecting it to be, or that you would typically expect it to be. Now, for those of you who haven't yet seen, we are going to be talking so much more about this. In fact, we've got about half a day focused on this at our 3-day live event that's coming up at the end of January, the Ultimate Self-Help Live. If you want to come and find out more about that, then please do come over and take a look at ultimateselfhelplive.com to find out more about the event, because it's going to be epic. And we are actually going to be doing this work. We're going to be doing the work on these 3 areas and making sure that you can always come from this place of power. We're actually going to dedicate some time. I'll be there. Our team of amazing mentors are going to be there, supporting you on actually doing the work that sits behind this, so that you're not co-creating more of these situations in your life, in every interaction that you have, because this will keep you stuck in the old paradigm. This will keep you in old ways of living. It will take you out of flow. It is almost impossible to, well, it is impossible to be in flow when you're in any one of those 3, because all of them are out of flow positions for you to be in. What I want for you is to be here, to be living in the new paradigm, so that you're always coming from a place of power. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at over the 3-day event. On day 2, actually, we're going to be solely focused on working on relationships, so that you can let go of these patterns of things that happen or have happened possibly in your life in the past, and the dynamics that we have in our family relationships. So with all of that said, that was Tiny Teach number 1 for today. What am I going to talk about next? Let me just come and see what's on here. La la la. Oh yes, been in a relationship like that and left. Yes, almost my ex-husband. Yes, I know the pushers. Yep, see this behavior. I think that's me and my partner, but not as extreme. Yes, absolutely. It doesn't always have to be that extreme. I used to do that. Be the protector. I'm often the protector. All of those are energetically draining. Every single one of them is an energetically draining position to be in. Now, this is kind of a step on from that, about how to not get dragged into one of these 3 energy positions. So for those of you who are just tuning in, because I can see some more people creeping in, what we've just been talking about is how to not live your life in the old paradigm. What we're talking about here are the 3 energy positions that we might be in any of our relationship dynamics. And this is based on something from called the Cartman Drama Triangle. But within EAM, we talk about it from an energy perspective. So the pusher, the protector, and the puller. All 3 of those are energetically draining. And the place that we really want you to be coming from is this centered, grounded, loving new paradigm place, which we call the energy, the power, coming from your place of power. So how do you actually stop yourself from succumbing to the energy of this, or giving in to people around you who are demanding your time, your energy, and your attention? And basically those people that love to drag you into their dramas. They're kind of like, you over there, you look like having a good time. I'm going to suck you into this situation. Now, anyone who's watching this who might be mildly offended by that, I mean it from a place of love, only to demonstrate so that you know when it's happening. I get it. I know that everybody is wanting to be happy. Everybody wants to come from a place of flow, and they don't know it. They don't mean it. They don't even recognize that they're in that place. However, that doesn't mean that it's your job to fix them. It doesn't mean that those people who are in that out of flow place and demanding your time, energy, and attention get to have your time, energy, and attention just because they are asking for it. Your time, your energy, your thoughts, your emotions are all yours. Any time that we allow anyone or anything, any situation outside of us to derail our energy, the only person that can be responsible for that is us. We are the guardians of where we direct our attention to. We are the guardians of our own flow state. Yet I know it's really easy when you've got some of this stuff going on in your life to be sucked into the drama of it, and it can sweep you up for minutes, hours, days, or even weeks sometimes. And what I want to show you is how you can stop getting yourself sucked into these dramas, because the time is one of the most abundant and precious resources that we have in our life. And our energy, our attention, our thoughts, and our emotions, whilst we get sucked into that situation, it means that we're out of flow, which means that we're now not manifesting all of the other things that we want to be calling into our life experience. And it means that we're actually putting more energy into the very situation that we say that we don't want. So I'm pretty sure you'd like to know how to stop doing that if you don't know how to do it already. So number one is really, I'm just going to move this that way, hold on. Number one is really for us to set very, very clear boundaries. It really does come from having a very deep foundational understanding of those three energy positions. Once you get them and you know which one of those three you might be in, then it's really easy to recognize, okay, all three of those are out of flow. Where do I want to come from? So before reacting to someone or something that we see going on outside of us that might be deemed as bad or a drain or something that is going to detract your energy, then it's really important for us to do the energy work on ourselves first. So as always, if you know the 5 steps of EAM, the energy alignment method, then we always begin with the same thing. What happens to your energy when you think about it? Meaning, does it give you that sicky feeling inside? Does it make you feel heavy? Does it make you feel drained? Does it make you feel like somebody is pulling you back? Just simply focus on what this situation is doing to your energy. Is it lifting you up and making you feel happy and excited, or like you're moving forward in life? Or is it draining you, squashing you, making you feel tired, making you feel sick? Anything that takes you out of the flow state, that is when you need to be using EAM. That's when you need to be applying the 5 steps. So first of all, recognize what's happening to your energy and use the 5 steps to get yourself back into a flow state before you respond to anything that you see going on outside of you. Whether this is a person that's, demanding your attention, or whether it's a situation that you feel is kind of out of control outside of you and your life experience. What happens to your energy? Do the work on that, and then allow yourself to get back into the flow state by using the 5 steps. Now, if there are other people involved, then again, this comes back to us coming from that place of power and living in a new paradigm. What is acceptable to you? What is okay to you? If someone's demanding your time and attention right now and you're in the middle of doing something else, are you going to give them your time and attention when they demand it? Or are you going to respectfully give them your time and attention when it's okay for you to do that? So this is really all about setting clear boundaries. It's about making clear what you're available for and what you're really not available for. and not allowing yourself to be available for anything that doesn't feel congruent with you. Just because somebody is demanding your time and your energy and attention doesn't mean that they should have it. They are yours. You are the guardian of those things. So create some really clear boundaries. Do the work on yourself about whatever they've said, whatever they've done, or whatever's going on in the situation before you respond and communicate back. There is so much power. And again, this is something that I do talk about in the book massively. The power of your words. I cannot. I wish I could, and maybe I will talk about this again at the event if you are coming along, the ultimateselfhelplive.com. The power of your words is immense. And the reason that I'm saying that is because your words are from your heart. Your tongue is known in Chinese medicine, your tongue is known as the root of your heart. So any words that you speak are carrying your heart's energy. Now, this is awesome when you are speaking your affirmations, when you're speaking your truth, when you're coming from a place of love. However, it is also very telling when somebody is unleashing their vengeance, their spite, their fear, their blame, their shame, their guilt, because it tells you where their heart truly lies. It tells you what's really going on inside of here and what kind of person they are energetically at that time as they're unleashing it. Now, there is a massive strength of power behind that. Our heart is 5,000 times more powerful than our brain. Electromagnetically, our energy in our heart is 5,000 times more powerful. So any words that you speak, whether they're coming from a place of love or whether you are unleashing vengeance and spite on somebody, you are literally sending that energy to them and they are going to receive it. Likewise, when anybody's saying those things about you, they are sending that energy to you and you are going to receive it too. Now, law of compensation is what you give out comes back to you tenfold. Dun, dun, dun. What you give out comes back to you tenfold. So if you choose to just react in the situation, unleash your anger and vengeance and let them have it and say everything that you've ever wanted to say to them, not only are you vomiting your resistant reversed energy onto them, which is like as they're receiving it, what you give out will come back to you tenfold. So as you send that energy out to somebody, there is going to be more of that stuff coming back. Now, the way to shift that is to make sure that you come from your place of power. Use the power of your voice and your heart to come from the new paradigm place. Come from a place of love. So you can still communicate and you can still come from a place of love, even when you're setting your boundaries. What is okay for you? I'm really happy to have this conversation with you if we can talk at this time, or this is the way that I would like the conversation to go. I'm available to talk to you. I'm really happy to have this conversation, but I want us to both stay in a loving place where we're able to be open and hear one another and not come from a place of blame and shame and guilt and fear and overwhelm. So you can really clearly set the boundaries before you have the conversation with someone and let them know what you are and what you're not available for. Now, the reason to do this is because actually it shifts somebody out of that blame, shame, guilt place, one of those things that we just talked about on the drama triangle, and it gives them a new container in which to learn to communicate with you, to get them to step out of that and come and join you in this place of power. Now, if you've done the work on yourself by using the 5 steps of EAM first, before you have the conversation, then it means that you've released all of your resistant and your reversed energy about that situation before you communicate. So even if the words that come out of your mouth aren't the most elegant or most eloquent when you're in the situation, if you've released that resistant and reversed energy first, they will hear you energetically because you've aligned your message to come from a place of love. More than 90% of the communication that we share is nothing to do with the words that come out of our mouths. We are energy human beings. We have learned to connect to energy and the energy behind what somebody says or does or means. And they will read that energy without ever having to consciously process it. They'll know that you mean what you say and you're coming from the right place, rather than you reacting to the situation and just unleashing what you said. So there is so much magic in you doing the energy work before you communicate with somebody. Even if you don't have the right words, it means that the energy exchange that happens between the two of you is very different to the one that you might have had if you just reacted to the situation beforehand. So hopefully, if you're watching this video, you know the 5 steps of EAM already. And if you don't, then definitely come and find out how to use them, because you can shift your energy on anything that's coming up around you. So I hope this makes sense. Can you just send me a little message on the comments if this is making sense to you, because it's a lot to take in. I completely appreciate that. But I just want to give you some new paradigm ways of really thinking about ways that you respond to one another, the ways that you communicate with one another, and the magic that you can have when you're using energy work in your life. So I've got some hearts going on down there. Hearts, 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 hearts. I've got some sad faces. Who keeps putting the angry faces on? I don't know what's going on with the angry face. Maybe your fingers slipped over to the wrong side. Or maybe your heart doesn't work. Let's try using the heart instead. So again, we are going to be doing so much work around this at the event in January, Ultimate Self-Help Live. If you want to find out more, go to ultimateselfhelplive.com. But it's much, much more than actually just a 3-day event. You basically get me for the whole of January, which may or may not be a good thing. But we're going to be working together from the 9th of January. We're going to be putting together 2 trainings before the event, so that when we get to the event, we are ready to do the work. It is a 3-day transformational workshop. It is not going to be sitting down and listening to me talk for 3 days, although there will be a little bit of that. It really is about you doing the work and being supported on how to do that work with myself and our amazing team of EAM mentors who will actually be there to guide you. You're going to be working in small groups over the 3 days, and you'll be working in groups of about 8 to 10. And your mentor is there to guide you through the journey over the 3 days. Whether you're joining us live at the event or whether you are joining us from the live stream, you will still have your mentor there with you to help make sure that you do this work, that we can actually create these shifts and transformations together. There is so, so much more to it. So please do go to ultimateselfhelplive.com if you haven't got yourself over there already. Now, 3rd session for today. 1 second. Just be organised about what I'm doing. 3rd and final part of our little tiny teach today is how to let go of what happened to you in the past. So where do I begin? Nearly everybody I meet, in fact, not nearly everybody, every single one of us has had a life experience before now. For those of you who are just tuning in, we've been talking today really about how to change our life experience and our interactions in the world, because so many things happen in our life before we got to this point. Before you met me, I had a life before this. Before I met you, you had a life before this. We've all had experiences that have happened in our lives, some that we've absolutely loved and adored, and some that we would probably rather choose to delete or let go of in some way, shape or form. But one of the biggest things that I know has happened for me along my journey, and for those of you who have read the book or have got the book, you will actually see, obviously not all of it, but just because there have been 36 years before now, but in the book you will actually hear or see the real part of my journey, where my journey began, why I went on my own personal development journey. Because truth is, a lot of my childhood wasn't what I would have chosen if I'd been able to consciously choose it. I was very, very sick as a young child. And at the age of 11, things happened to me that probably, well, not probably, things happened to me at the age of 11 that should never happen to anybody, let alone a little 11 or 12-year-old girl. And it was from that place that I really believe that my life got stuck in the very early years. But I'm very grateful now for having had that experience, because it allowed me to step into the new part of my life. It allowed me to go on the journey to discovering that there was a new way to live, that there was a new way to be, that I didn't have to live my life in the place of being a victim or a puller energy, that I could choose to change my experience of what had happened in the past and what had happened in my life and how I responded and reacted to everything that was going on in the world. Now, the reason I really want to talk to you about this, and I'm so passionate about this, is because so many people I know are living their life experience right now based on what happened to them in the past. And the reason that happens, so first of all, energetically, the reason that happens is because we are electromagnetic beings. We are electromagnetic recording devices. There is much more to you than you see on a physical level. Your entire physical body is just one part of your energy structure, which is known as our aura, A-U-R-A, if you haven't heard of it before. Now, your aura is actually something that can be measured up to 20 feet away from you, scientifically measured up to 20 feet away from you. We create our own electromagnetic force field that can be measured. And inside our aura is a recording of every thought, every belief, every experience, every situation, every emotion, every pattern that we've ever experienced in this life, and for those of you who believe in past lives as well. Now, the work that we do with EAM, with the energy alignment method, if you know what the 5 steps are, is all about shifting and changing the energy that we're carrying in our aura. Now, the reason that we want to do that is because every day, in every interaction that we have, our assessment of what we see going on outside of us comes through the filter of everything we've ever experienced before. In the same way that everything we send out into the world from our energy into our life experience goes back and is filtered through everything that's happened to us before. Now, unless or until we do the energy work on what we're holding and carrying in our energy, we will continue to recreate more of the same situations. Now, I say that to you not to scare you. I say that to you to empower you, because using the 5 steps of EAM, you can shift and change anything that has happened to you on an energetic level. And by doing that, you also shift and change what happened in that situation for everybody else that was involved in it too. Dun, dun, dun. Now, I know that might sound like some weird, crazy sci-fi stuff to some people, and it really isn't meant to be. It's been shown, it can happen, and I've seen it happen now with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Every interaction we have in our lives is energetic. And even though we aren't experiencing in our life right now, if there's you, I'm going to have to get my flip chart back out. In fact, I'm going to get my flip chart back out. Hold on. Let me draw this for you. Let me draw this for you. Let's imagine something happened to you in the past, and I'm sure you've got something that you can think about. So this is you. I'm going to draw a stick lady, just because everyone always draws a stick man. And this is the other person, who is also a lady. Now, we have all of the different layers of our aura. There are 7 of them, but I won't draw all of them now. And when you're with somebody, your energy, your auras intertwine, the energy layers of your aura intertwine. But when situations happen, say you've had a massive argument with somebody. Earlier on, do you remember we were just talking about in the other video about the power of your voice, about the power of the energy that we share, because our heart energy is the power of our voice and our communication. So imagine you're in a deep, heated argument with somebody and you are sharing, all of this energy is being sent out from you. And they are also sending all of their energy out to you. What happens to that energy? Energy doesn't get destroyed, it can only be transformed. And whilst it is left out there, you've created this resistant energy vortex. So between the two of you, you've both projected energy into a situation, for example. And now out there in the world is this energy ball that is the heated energy, it's the conversation, it's all of the things that you've said to each other, it's all the painful stuff that you've shouted at one another, is now out there as an energy. And it's still out there as an energy, unless or until we choose to shift and change it. Now, using the 5 steps of EAM, you can shift and change this. This energy will be carried with you wherever you go. It'll be in your energy and their energy. It's out there somewhere in the world, still in this resistant or reversed energy state. When you do the 5 steps of EAM and work on what happened to you in the past for you, you work on what happens to your energy when you think about it. You work on the thoughts and beliefs that you have. You work on the emotions you have around that situation or around that person. What you actually end up doing is cancelling out that resistant energy form that is out there somewhere in the world. And even better, you don't only let it go, you can actually also change the energy of that to something that then can come from, la la la. Hopefully you can see that. It's meant to be a heart. I think you like my drawings. So you can then choose to change that energy form into something that comes from a place of love. You can choose to move it into a new paradigm place that comes from a place of flow and isn't going to be out there. And the reason we do that is because whilst that energy is out there, left untouched or unlooked after, every time you think about this person, you're going to reconnect back to this. Every time this person thinks back to you, they're going to reconnect back to this. So even if you don't see that person in your life anymore, even if you haven't spoken to them for years, even if you excluded them from your life, it doesn't matter. What we're doing is letting go of the past so that it's no longer affecting and influencing you, so that you're not carrying this stuff around with you everywhere you go, so that you are not bringing all of this stuff into every interaction you have, every conversation you have, every way that you treat the people that you're meeting in your life right now, because this isn't in your energy anymore. You no longer see the world in this way. You're no longer carrying this stuff in your energy. I hope this is making sense. Please leave me some comments underneath or give me some hearts if this is making sense to you. But the reason that we want to let go of the stuff that happened in our past is for you. If you want to look at it from a purely selfish perspective, it's all about you being able to move forward so that you're not carrying this stuff anymore. You don't need to. The only person that is being affected by this, the main person that's being affected by this is you. And obviously this other person that's here as well. So everybody has the power to do this. I am saying this from having been on a journey where, if you've read my story inside the book, you'll understand. Like, I've had my fair share of life experiences. I know other people have been through worse life experiences, but I know that no matter where you are, I know that no matter what's happened to you, I know that no matter what is going on in your life right now, you have the power to shift and change it by changing your energy. You absolutely have the power to do that. We really all do. And that is my biggest invitation to you. And one of the biggest drivers for me behind why I share EAM, because I know how many people are recreating the same life experiences that they don't want to have by keeping this stuff stuck in their energy. You can shift it, you can change it and let it go. And I hope that this has given you some context for why you would really, truly want to make sure that you do, so that you can start living your life from a new paradigm way of living and being. I'm going to go and take some art classes, I think. I quite like my stick people. Let's take that out of the way. I really, 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 really hope that you are going to embrace whatever you see here inside the book, Ultimate Self-Help Book, available on Amazon. But even better, come and spend some time with me in January, because we are going to be doing a massive deep dive on really using the 5 steps of EAM to actually change your life. And we're going to be doing it over a 3-day live event, the 18th, 19th and 20th of January in London at the Renaissance Hotel near Heathrow. And even if you can't join us in person, you absolutely can tune in and join us from home on the live stream if you really want to stay at home in your fluffy slippers. And myself and our incredible team of EAM mentors are going to be there with you as your guide over the 3 days, because I am on a massive mission to really actually make my impact in the world and help people to change their lives. Because you don't need a therapist, you don't need a coach or whoever. You just need to be able to understand all of the things that sit behind it, and maybe have somebody there with you along your journey, of course. But you have the power to change your life. You absolutely have the power to change your life. And that for me is what I hope we've encapsulated inside EAM, the Energy Alignment Method, by sharing these 5 steps. It's always, black pen all over my hand. It's always the same 5 steps, no matter what it is. And the art of using EAM is actually about understanding all of the different concepts and the different ways that you can use it to approach your life. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing together throughout January. So I'm going to show you how to use the sway and make sure that you're swaying, because I know sometimes people get a bit stuck with that. I'm going to talk to you about the right questions to ask and how to start using the sway to answer or ask questions about what you've got going on. We've got the 3 days together, and even after the 3-day event, we've also got another 2 follow-up training calls online, because I know what it's like. We've all been to those events. We're like, yeah, it's amazing. I'm going to change my life. I'm absolutely going to do it this time. And then we get home and we're back in reality, and things kind of swallow us all up again. So we're there with you for another 2 weeks after the event as well, to make sure that you've got us there on hand to really help you implement these changes in your life. If you are sat there trying to create some New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to do another video about that, about New Year's resolutions and setting SMART goals. I have a real issue with SMART goals. SMART goals do not work. So watch out for another video around that, and I will tell you exactly why. But come and join us for the Ultimate Self-Help Live. It's ultimateselfhelplive.com. Come and find out about what's going on. We've got an early Leapers price on right now before Christmas. And you can even split the payments over the next 3 months if that's going to be easier for you. But I cannot encapsulate how transformational these events are. Being in a room with 150, 200 other people who are shifting and changing their lives and changing their energy. The last event we did in July was literally mind-blowing. And I have no doubt whatsoever that this event in January is going to be exactly the same, whether you're there in the room or whether you're joining us on live stream, because everything is energy, and collectively we can create such bigger shifts, so much bigger shifts and transformations by doing this work all together, because we tap into the group energy of everything that's going on. So it really is going to be a magical, magical, magical 3 days. And I cannot wait to take those of you who already have come and said yes, and I can see more of you signing up every day, which is awesome, on this journey in January. It's the first time that I've shared so much of this content, because it's all, some of it's stuff that's in the book, and some of it's even stuff that didn't make it to the book, and things that I've only ever previously shared with our EAM mentors as well. So I really can't wait to see you. If you want to find out more, ultimateselfhelplive.com. www.thebrandingcoach.com. Come and find out what we're doing. Come and see how this can really work for you. Forget about getting fluffy slippers and smellies and pajamas for Christmas. Okay, maybe not the pajamas, because I do like a new pair of pajamas, but there is so much more that you could ask for as a gift this Christmas. And that would be a true life-changing way to begin January and 2019, because the energy of next year is going to be epic. It's all about expansion, growth, and transformation next year. And I would love to be there with you to kickstart your journey in 2019. So for now, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I really hope that this little tiny teach has been helpful to you. And we are running another one Wednesday evening. 8 p.m. I think it's going to be 8 p.m. I'll be live here again inside the hub for you on Wednesday night. Any questions you've got at all, please do let me know. I really look forward to seeing you. Enjoy. Go and put some of these things into practice that we've been talking about on the call today, and I will speak to you very soon. But for now, ta-ta, bye. Bye.